Hello everyone. Welcome to chapter 218 of the last Thoughts of a Busy Mind. This one is Memoirs of the War, part 4. It's recorded a week after the last one. Now, in last week I talked about the deadline approaching for the Donald Trump saying that he will bomb all our bridges and industrial infrastructure and power lines and God knows what else. But yeah, good news, just starting with that, there is a ceasefire now. But before we get that, my drink today is water because you kind of have, I just have water. Amazing. But yeah, there has been a ceasefire at the last minute. There was a ceasefire called, and talks were held in Islamabad, which, as I'm recording this, the results of that talks have come out, and it's inconclusive. No deal was reached. But yeah, there is a ceasefire for the last 2-3 days. There hasn't been any explosions or bombs, or I don't have to wake up every day reading to the news to see what parts of the country has been hit by explosions and how many civilian casualties have been made. Jesus. It's not been easy, to be honest, because, okay, on one hand, I am glad there is a ceasefire, don't get me wrong. I'm glad because I don't want the civilian infrastructure being hit, and I know that deep down, Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu don't give a shit about us. Us as in the people of Iran. I know that if all of our 90 million people die, it wouldn't matter to them. Not thankfully, sadly, actually, it wouldn't matter to most other people. I was going to say truthfully, which came out as thankfully. Truthfully, it wouldn't matter to most other people if all of us die. It will only matter to us. And that is sickening to think about. But sadly, that is also kind of where my head is at right now. It certainly wouldn't matter to Reza Pahlavi and his ilk either, but enough about them. They change us. Just one last thing. One of the funniest things has been seeing them melt down over the fact that Donald Trump has lied to them about the ceasefire, even though they were eerily silent when the motherfucker said he will send us back to Stone Age. Because most of the fans of Reza Pahlavi, most of the monarchists, do not live in fucking Iran. So they don't have to pay the cost of it. So of course for them, the betrayal is, there is gonna be talks. But yeah. I mean, at the very beginning, the ceasefire is shaky as hell. Both sides have accused the other one of breaking the ceasefire. And at the one end of this ceasefire is Netanyahu. The man hasn't broken a ceasefire, hasn't seen a ceasefire and hasn't broken it, He loves two things, killing Palestinians and breaking ceasefires. And then claiming Hamas did both of them, which, we all need our boogeyman. But yeah. The talks have been inconclusive. Will there be a deal? I don't know. Because I can't even gather much information because even though there is a ceasefire, the internet is still shut off. That's why I'm recording this in advance. I don't know when you'll hear it, even if you'll hear it, because honestly, there's just any chance that the war might just start again and I might get killed this time. But yeah, the internet is still shut off. There is nothing going out or coming in, and that's another thing I fear, because I don't know if it ever get shut off. If it ever get restrictions will ever get lifted, and I don't know that. Part of me wants to think the pressure is enough that they will do it at some point. Other part of me is afraid. I don't know how much of a life would it be if I had the last vestige of doing something in this land taken away from me. I probably would be not a very happy person. And I fear when I'm not happy. It's not a suicide thing. I don't think I have. I'm not going to call it the bravery, because it's not really brave. I don't think I like the pain of suicide, and I fear death immensely still. So I don't think I will do a suicide, but self-harm is always on the table. And I think it will be easier to go towards if I feel more stuck than I do right now. But yeah. No, sadly, this is the one thing nothing can do anything about, And certainly, the fucking pedophile president of the United States and the child killer in Israel aren't going to put pressure on Iran to give people access. And even if they do, these fuckers won't do it. They didn't budge on the fucking nuclear program. Are they going to budge on the internet shutdown? I don't know. Things aren't too well. I am scared of the future, and I hate it. There was a time I was hopeful for the future, even if it seemed bleak. I have lost my sense of optimism, and that is not good. That is very bad. But yeah. And with the talks in Islamabad going inconclusive, I'm just reading the news headlines because, as I said, I have to pay for each megabyte of internet I use, so I mostly can read headlines, and that is not good. Back in the day, I at least could read a few articles, but right now it's just headlines, and it's not good. It's not good. But okay, from what I see, I kept thinking, is there a way out? Well, I don't know that. I mean, God knows I don't. The way I see it right now, the minute the war started, we, I mean as in the people of Iran, were fucked. There was never a scenario in which this war ends and we are not fucked. And I know there are people who have deluded themselves that somehow, this war will end with the toppling of the Islamic Republic, and then everything will be, we will have rivers of honey and mountains of gold. And I don't know how they deluded themselves into that, especially now they still can delude themselves with the fact that they have hit most of our core industries, and the economic repercussions are going to be felt for decades to come, and that is before they even start hitting civilian infrastructure. Like the breaches that they hit, they matter, they are not just, symbols of Islamic Republic or things like that. They were used by civilians, and they were part of a civilian infrastructure. The fact that the commute from where I am right now, Tabriz, to Tehran, has been severed because they've hit a few of the major roads it should tell you something, So I don't know how those people delude themselves. I mean, I know how. It's easy to delude yourself when you basically live in your own bubble. you live in your own bubble. You only listen to that fucking propagandists over in Iran International, or sadly, because of the war, I have been exposed to even worse versions of those idiots, like ZTV or shit like that. Jesus. I mean, who does watch them unironically? Seriously? Do you have brains? Do you have eyes? Oh, Jesus. But anyways, so yeah, it's easy to do that if you're in a bubble and you actively believe that this war was happening because they try to help Iranian, or you listen to the fucking Donald Trump administration saying that, oh, the Islamic Republic killed a lot of people, that's why we attacked, and you believe that from him, that he did it out of the kindness of his own heart to help the people of Iran. So yeah, I don't see a way out where we are not fucked in some way. Either they do hit civilian infrastructure and they do send us code back to the Stone Age, and Jesus, that infuriates me. That someone can say that and he isn't immediately hit over the head with an anvil or something. I'm trying to make it cartoony, but you know what I mean. But yeah, either that happens, in which case, well, life is going to be very hard for people. Many will die, many more will die. Most of them will be civilians who will die. Many of those who will die are vulnerable people who probably need electricity for their medical equipment and such. So they will die. And many more civilians will die because of the famine and everything that will follow. And life will be downright intolerable for us, because I don't think the military is fearing that much. They probably have their reserves, they probably have their way, and even if they hit the civilian infrastructure, they're not gonna feel the pain of it. The ruling class will not feel the pain of it. Worst case scenario, they leave. They go to Moscow or Beijing or Islamabad or anywhere else, really. I mean, they are rich. They will go to fucking Washington, D.C. and get a room in the fucking White House because they have the money. And we all know Donald Trump only cares for the money. Hell, I'm sure Benny Netanyahu only cares about the money too. They will probably live a pretty good life in Tel Aviv. So they will not feel it. We will. Life will be intolerable to the point that suicide rate will probably reach the highest ever. The other one is there is actually a deal, and Islamic Republic is accepting to do certain things, and at the very least we will have electricity for now. But then everybody will leave. Islamic Republic will be a wounded wolf, and it will have one simple target in its mind: its own people. We will be left with a far more violent, wounded, humiliated, and more strict Islamic Republic, who will make life again intolerable for us, the normal people. So, is there a way out of here? I mean, there are other scenarios as well. Islamic Republic may topple. I don't see it myself. I don't think everybody realizes how deep the roots go, but it's a possibility. They will topple, and the fucking prince, the mama's boy, will come in and becomes the next dictator. And the first thing he does is kills a lot of people, because that's what dictators do. But this time he will have the stamp of approval from US and Israel, so there wouldn't be any fuss about it. All of a sudden, the executions and protesters being killed are just the remnants of the last regime, justified in their death. But yeah, that's another scenario. Another scenario is civil war, That's always a scenario. We are a very diverse country. I've actually talked about that a few times, and I don't think it will happen. I want to hold a much better hope for humanity in my heart, but it's a possibility. It might happen. Grand invasion might be a thing, and in that case, that's not good. Iran might become the next Ottoman Empire and carved up into sections. Again, not very good. But in any case, the normal people, the citizens, us, are fucked. I don't see a way out that isn't us being fucked in some considerable way. Realistically speaking, I can be in my own bubble and think that, all of the bombs that Israel and America drop on Iran will hit only Islamic Republic and no one else. But sadly, I have a brain. Sadly, I can think. And the things aren't going well for us. Genuinely, the day Donald Trump and Netanyahu finally croak, I will be as happy as the day I was when Ali Khamenei finally croaked. All three of these men fucked up my life. Fucked up not just my life, but the life of my fellow countrymen to despicable extent. And the day Reza Pahlavi does, I will probably read that, say, and move on with my life, because, to be honest, even though I get angry at him a lot, he is insignificant, as he has always been. An insignificant worm. An infuriating insignificant worm, like a tapeworm or, an anal worm, but still an insignificant worm. I don't know what I'm saying. I am not well. The war has had a toll on me. The day before the deadline, like a few hours before the ceasefire was announced, I was so tense, so down that I genuinely didn't see a way out of my current state. I finally opened up about, because I thought, this won't be the last time I get to talk to people, and said some messages to people, and everything is just, it's just hard. I don't know what will happen. I'm glad there is a ceasefire. I'm glad I don't have to wake up in the middle of the night with the sounds of anti-aircraft guns and bombs and rockets and drones and shit. But I fear the future. The future is grim. I wish it wasn't. I wish I could see a way out. But I don't. I just want it to end. Better yet, I want it to have never started. Who knows? See you next week.